Welcome back. You're watching 5 News Tonight. Now, if you've been working all your life, you've saved up a load of cash, what are you going to do with it? Treat yourself to a holiday or a new car, or save the money for an emergency perhaps? Well, now more of those options are available as plans to give people increased control of their pension pots have been revealed by the government. The changes apply to people who are aged 55 and over. They're able to take their money out in small lump sums if they want, and 25% will be tax-free. Well, joining me now to talk about this is the Telegraph's pensions expert, Katie Morley. Good evening to you, Katie. Good to see you. Why are these rules changing?
So this is basically an extension of what George Osborne announced in the budget earlier this year. As you said, people will be able to have more freedom over how they spend their pension and how they take income from their pension. So I think one of the most useful things that we've heard today is that the 25% tax-free lump sum, which is one of the bits of pension that people really look forward to when they retire, you won't just have to take that as a lump sum at the beginning, which is what a lot of people do. You will also have the option to kind of take that over time.
Well, keep taking lump sums out until you've exhausted the whole pot, if you like.
Yes, and the benefit of doing that is that if you don't take it all at once at the beginning, you can leave your pot to grow, and your 25% tax-free lump sum will grow with your pot. So you could actually get more money tax-free if you leave it be.
OK, we'll get more details of you in just a second, but we've been asking people if they think this is a good idea. Here's what they had to say.
I think people should have more opportunity to spend the money how they want, rather than be perhaps victims to these big businesses.
But then I always get advised, leave it, wait till you retire, and then it's there, as and when you have retired, so you've got it there.
Human nature as it is, people just take the money and run, and then not think of the consequences later on in life, when obviously you might need that extra steady income.
That's the point, isn't it? You can do this from 55. Well, not many people stop working at 55, and they're going to have to be working until their late 60s, unless they're very, very lucky indeed. So what's the advice there? Is it like that lady said, try and leave it in as long as possible?
Well, I think if you do leave your pension in your pot as long as possible, you do have the chance to get a bigger pension at the end, and you will need the money for fewer years as well. So you're likely to get a better income from it. Just because you can access it at 55, it certainly doesn't mean that you should.
How do these changing the rules affect younger people, first in terms of them investing in a pension?
So this is potentially good news for young people. Of course, I mean, by the time young people, I don't know what the rules will be like by the time I retire, certainly. It could look very different to how it is now. But certainly if it does stay like this, I think it's very good news for people because they won't be restricted to buying particular pension products when they retire. Many of those have historically been offering people very poor value for money. So this is good news for people who would have been buying those things. You can now do what you like with it, and there's a real opportunity for people there to really take control of the situation and make sure that it's the best outcome for them. So I think for young people there, that's a really good thing to look up to their parents who may be approaching retirement and see how they do it, and really learn a good lesson from them, hopefully.
And just briefly, Katie, those pensioners who have built up quite a significant amount of money can then leave it to other people and they won't have to pay tax on it.
Absolutely. The new rules which were announced a couple of weeks ago on the death benefits in pensions, if you have a drawdown pension, which is where it's still invested in the stock market and you have control of it, if you die aged under 75, you will actually be able to pass that tax-free onto your beneficiaries. If you're over the age of 75, your beneficiaries will be taxed at their marginal rate of tax, or if they choose to take the whole thing, they'll be charged at 45%. But either way, that's a lot better than the old system where you would be, where they would be taxed at 55% to inherit that pension.
Big changes. Katie, great advice. Thanks very much indeed.